Hey friends, I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to be building the Mode 80, by far the most expensive keyboard I've touched to date. The 80 is Mode's take on a classic but premium TKL layout keyboard. Something about the combination of simplicity and what appeared to be premium build quality really stood out to me. Due to the nature of the work I do on a daily basis, being inclusive of 3D modelling, photo and video work, I thought it'd be nice to use something bigger than a 40-ish% and 60% sometimes. Anyway, enough of my rambling, let's check it out. To start, I'm just going to take a quick peek into the box. I totally didn't just reseal for the video. Everything included came in this bubble envelope thing. Maybe most people overlook small details like this, but to me the last thing you want after waiting for a package and paying import tax for anything to be damaged. So I do appreciate the small things. My mind is definitely at ease. Inside the package specifically, we've got the keyboard, plate, PCB, and everything else you'd need, along with some Durock V2 stabs, and a pack of their Reflex and Signal switches, one being linear and one tactile, which I'm really eager to try, and will provide sound tests of both, along with some different switches towards the end of the video. Let's build. Shall we? The keyboard splits in half in a matter of seconds. Out of the box there's just a single screw in the back. Once you undo that with the Allen key provided, the bottom just lifts from the top without much effort at all. Before we build the plate assembly up, first we have to install the USB-C daughter board. This is essentially a smaller PCB that connects to the larger one and helps to simplify it. Looking back, I probably should have waited to install the cable though. Moving on, for our stabilizers of choice for today's keyboard, we have good old trusty Durock V2s in smoky grey, the staple of custom keyboards around the globe. I wanted to go for something I already knew pretty well and would give a decent result. These are PCB mounted screw-in stabilizers, which for the most part will give you a better outcome than plate mounted stabs. The housing and sliders have been lubed with Krytox 205 grade 0, and the wires have been treated to some XHT-BDZ. Now, if you're not familiar, it's relatively new-ish lubricant to be used on keyboards that you may have also heard people refer to as Dragon Ball Z lube, and it's exclusively for stabilizers. Please do not lube your switches with it. Trust me, I've tried. Oh, also, this stuff is incredibly messy. I recommend keeping a brush exclusively for it and cleaning it well after use. Its consistency is that of toothpaste, marshmallow spread, anything thick and white you can think of. But its thickness does have benefits. It coats incredibly well and supposedly lasts longer on your wires than dielectric grease. We'll see. For now, I'm using 205 grade 0 for the housings and XHT-BDZ for the wires, and it seems to be a pretty good combo. With this stuff being relatively messy, I apologise if the wires aren't up to your level of cleanliness, but it does the job well. Once our stabs are installed, we need to put the middle gasket in. This is indeed optional and it sits in between the PCB and plate. The main use of this is to provide a more muted sound profile compared to it not being there at all, which is something I'm personally a massive fan of. Now the next logical step, switches. For this initial build, we're going to be using Mode's Reflex linear switches, which are pretty few and far between in the UK, so I'm glad to be able to try them out. Now, although under the Mode branding and looking somewhat like Gator on black inks aside from the stem, these switches are indeed manufactured by the highly esteemed gods of current linear switches, Durock. And with that name comes a certain expectation of quality, and I can happily say they hold up. We're looking at a 5-pin switch with a 63.5 gram gold plated spring, polycarb upper housing, nylon bottom housing, and Durock's V2 linear stems. Similar to Tangy's, they come lightly pre-lubed, and I was pretty happy with them straight out of the pack, but I decided to pull them apart, re-lube with the classic Krytox 205 grade 0, and film with Deskeys switch films. Now, those that have built before know lubing switches is definitely a labour of love, and doing around 60 for 60% is pretty pleasurable, but this big old TKL took 87 of them. I got through them quicker than expected because I've done a few batches now, and to me anyway, not having built too many keyboards is not really boring to me yet. Anyway, I popped the switches into each corner of the plate and a few more about, and just did a quick super secret stabilizer test to ensure everything was okay before popping in the rest of the switches. I made this like you guys were not going to see the finished build beforehand, but let's just pretend you haven't, okay? After making a few adjustments and plugging the butt, we proceed. For plate, we're just using the aluminium one provided. This will result in a relatively firm typing experience, but I am okay with that. Once all of our switches are in place, we can put the rest of the board back together. Now, while you're probably supposed to lay the top side down first, insert everything, I just flipped the whole thing around and let whatever happened happen. It turned out good for me. Ta-da! Now, this keyboard uses what they refer to as a stack mount. This name stems from the fact that the plate and PCB stack onto these 3 posts located in the case and supported by this bottom sheet of poron. Once that's done, we just insert the bottom half of this case into this lip, connect the daughterboard cable and carefully close everything up. These 3 screws hold absolutely everything together, so if you had multiple PCBs, you could swap setups out really quickly. I, however, don't. Now the keyboard is assembled, we need some icing on the cake. How better to do that than with a nice good old GMK set. This one in particular is the Columbia base kit for GMK Godspeed. I love the cream and blue space theme, but I wasn't sure it'd look great on the E-white case, to me anyway, so I was happy to see that it had an all pastel blue variant, which may not be to everybody's taste, but they were readily available, and I'm not waiting for my Modern Dolch 2 set to come in, although it would look pretty cool. Anyway, I love these keycaps, not much to say apart from they're made from ABS, look and feel fantastic, and great quality from GMK as expected. So there we have it, one finished keyboard. I have to say, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I can confidently say it's the best keyboard I've personally typed on and built. I haven't had too much experience with higher end boards, so do bear that in mind. This is in fact their monochrome variant, and as you've seen has an E-white top and grey bottom. It's a weighty one, coming in at a hefty 2.1 kilograms, with both top and bottom case being machined out of 6063 aluminium. Aesthetically, I feel like it's just simple done right with a few elegant design features that make this board feel complete. This extended forehead above the F-row and slope back made entirely from the bottom weight aren't design choices you get bored of or change your mind on. They're just subtle nods to help reaffirm the quality of this board. Without further ado, I present to you the sound test with however many switches I have on hand. Enjoy. Okay, if I haven't put in the title already, some of you are probably wondering how much something like this would cost. As a quick and rough breakdown, the 80 kit will set you back around $470 if you can get your hands on one. Stabs, another $20-ish. Switches, depending on what we're going with, roughly $50 for the Reflex switches without films and lube, but more like $115 when looking at creamsicles. Remember, TKL big boys eat switches. And keycaps are of course another $140. So we're looking at between $680 and $745-ish. That's before the $100 import fees for keycaps and the keyboard, but that is just for us UK people. So there we have it. I don't think I'm getting tired of this one anytime soon, and I can see it being used as my daily for a good while. From the design to layout to sound, it ticks every box I'm currently trying to tick, and as strange as it sounds, really makes me want to type more. Considering my daily tasks as well, TKL is such a nice layout. Yes, although using things like the candy bar and various 60% is fun and a little different, this TKL is a real champ when I just need to get some work done or some video editing. Not that I'm just going to stop and say that's it now, there's at least 3 more I have in the works, so stay tuned. Anyway, this video's gone on for long enough, that'll about wrap it up. I just want to say a massive thank you to Mode for providing me with this keyboard, and of course thank you Drop for providing me with the keycaps, and a massive thank you to all of you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and got some sort of value from it. If you have any questions about terminology and so on, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you don't already, you're more than welcome to follow me on TikTok at arky_technology, Instagram at arky.technology, and of course a like on the video and a sub would be awesome. Please don't feel like you have to though. See you next time, have an awesome day.